You sit there, I'll sit on the hog.
And we are live.
What
We get
up?
into some YMCA shit now.
Live.
Merry Christmas.
Yes, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
I'm going to go in and share. Anybody that's hopping in, if y'all can just hop in, if you can share the live out and spend some time with us today. Let's do this. So we can start getting some people in here. Somebody want to talk?
Happy holidays, y'all. Let's get that out of the way. Hey, Jude, you want to say happy holidays?
He's awesome.
This is Jude, and this is Max, who has an appetite for burritos.
Wow, that's awesome.
Christmas tree than the burrito.
That's awesome.
Happy holidays. Hey, David. Happy holidays, Brandy. Hey, I don't know if you guys are able to see comments on your guys' end.
Nope.
Yeah,
I can.
I can.
Okay, perfect. Well,
How do you see comments? How do you see it?
You see up on the right-hand corner where it says comments, hit the comment button.
yeah, you should be able to see them on the right. If you guys are just tuning in with us, please
Share it out.
and then drop your sobriety dates. Let's celebrate and spend some time together. I see a bunch of people's already hopping in, so. And then whenever here soon, then we got the reel that our lovely Ben Lerner put together for us today, and we can drop that as well. I'm sure you've seen it on everybody's pages. So that was awesome to make. We did it last year, and here we are again this year.
Thanks for trusting me enough to do it.
No, you did a great job, bro.
Yes.
Y'all are too kind.
All right, I'm messaging to the group. Megan Henze, her sobriety date 11/9/22.
That's
Good job.
Yes, that's awesome.
That is awesome.
All right, I am sharing to some groups.
So, where is everybody coming from? So, I'm in Athens, Georgia.
Drew, where are
I'm
you?
in Knoxville.
I'm in Warsaw, Indiana.
Warsaw, Indiana. You know what's funny is we have a Warsaw, New York, like 20 minutes from me. So I'm coming from Buffalo, New York, but we have Warsaw, New York.
Chicagoland area.
Known as Chirac.
Chirac.
Dude, where are we coming from? That's right, Vermont.
Nice.
Awesome.
Brandy,
There it is.
11/9/17.
Good
Congrats.
job,
That's
Brandon.
awesome. Congratulations, Brandy.
Love you, Brandy. Brandy's part of my dream team. I love her to death.
David said he's in the Great Northeast. David's awesome. He's on all of our lives, so he's always on there showing love.
Absolutely.
Manch, Vegas.
Nice.
Yes.
Vegas in the house.
Manchester, New Hampshire. We're from the same place.
Nice. Man.
Laconia, New Hampshire. Daniel from Laconia, New Hampshire.
Laconia, Brandy from Alberta, Canada.
Yep, she's on my dream team.
Who all has snow? Do you guys have snow?
Yeah, we got some
Yes.
snow.
We got some snow.
Okay, I know I got a bunch. Did you get some, Ben?
It was minimal snow here, but it was -6.
Oh,
In Vermont. No, -3. -3. It was 6 degrees during the day. -3 a couple days ago.
What about
I'll
you?
take the snow over that shit.
Get it?
Yeah.
Ski resorts made some snow.
No snow in Georgia?
no.
What?
Mm-mm. Maybe January if we're lucky.
We got hit. We got hit pretty hard the last few weeks. Jen, did you guys get it in Knoxville?
We don't really get a lot of snow here. And when we do, it shuts the whole town down. We got like 2 snow plows, man. We don't know what to do with it. It's a whole apocalypse. There's never no bread and milk. It's crazy if it does.
It's an apocalypse up here if it doesn't snow.
Sober Queen is
Ski resorts don't like it.
Greenville. Sober Queen's Greenville.
Michigan.
Yeah.
Another.
Yep, I just spoke up there.
Yeah.
Hey, you want me to play that reel?
Go for it.
Let's go.
I was just
You can share the screen. That'd be cool.
I was waiting to just get some people in. So All right, let's do that.
If you're in recovery, the holiday season can be a beautiful time of year.
But it can also be a tough one if you're still in the struggle.
If you are early in recovery, it's not always easy.
But you don't have to go through this alone.
If you feel like you have no one to talk to this holiday season and that no one understands,
it's not too late to pick up your phone and reach out.
We're all in this together, no matter where you are this holiday season.
You deserve the gift of being sober, happy, and free.
Happy holidays from each one of us, fam.
recovery is possible. And if no one has told you today,
I pray that you are encouraged in knowing that you are strong, you are a good person, and you can stay sober through the holidays.
And from all of our families to yours, happy holidays.
Pretty dope.
Awesome.
Nice.
You got team. Good job, team. Putting it together.
Yes, that was
Yeah.
awesome. It was great. It was great to be able to do that with you guys. I think it's awesome the way the Lord's bringing us together to work together. And
Yeah, we
passionate.
got to do this as a yearly tradition. We did it last year. Now we have, and each year we need to just add more and more people to it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so cool.
That'd be fun.
Absolutely. I love that, David. He said, pick up your phone, not your DOC.
Yeah. Let's see. Tyler Thomason's, how's it going? What's up, brother? Janet, she said,
McClanahan, she's one of my people.
I didn't want to butcher the last name. Leanne, hey family. Man, that's awesome. Everybody is coming in. Anybody that is in here, share the live out, please. Share it out. Invite people to come hang out with us.
Let us know where you're watching from.
Yeah, let us know where you're
Yeah.
watching.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, guys,
Absolutely.
I know everybody here has been in sobriety for a minute. I was just curious, what are some tools y'all use to stay sober through the holidays?
People, you guys?
Man, I'll start off with it. Friends, going through a time right now in my own life and my own personal stuff going on. And I'm over in Chicago working. And instead of staying in a hotel room, a great buddy of mine, Johnny, said, hey, man, why don't you just stay with us and Christmas Eve and do Christmas with us, man? So what a blessing. Instead of having to sit in a hotel by myself working, you reach out to a buddy, pick up the phone and make it happen. So that's why I'm sitting here. I'm sitting here with Johnny at his place and through the holidays. And it's an amazing feeling to have people that really care for you. And I know that we meet each other on social media. I met Johnny one time at an event, but to open his house up to me and say, come on in, swag, man, lay your head down. I mean, that's a blessing, man, because back in the day, I wouldn't have trusted myself in somebody's house. And today, man, we can open each other's house up for ourselves and for each other, man, and come in here and fellowship and do things just like this. So it's a blessing today.
Yeah. And you got to try a bunch of Chicagoland food, which I've been knocking his socks off with the deep dish pizza and Italian beefs and all kinds of stuff.
Oh, that's awesome. Me next.
Chicago pizza is amazing.
Oh, it's called Hurtville. It hurt me, man. That big pizza put a hurting on me. I was in a coma that night. I couldn't even breathe, man. I was like, wow. But it was so good. Last night we had some type of beefy king or something. Beefy something. What was it last
Italian
night?
beef.
Italian beef.
Cheesy
I don't know.
beefs.
I tear up the name of the grocery stores up here. I can't pronounce. I can't do anything right up here, but I can damn sure eat good.
So as far as like with the holidays and stuff, I was always told by like predecessors of mine to stay in the middle of the pack. There's also, at least in my area, in the Chicagoland area, we do have marathon meetings. They start Christmas morning and they go all the way until Christmas Eve morning, and then they go for 48 hours into Christmas Day Eve. So it's a constant thing when it comes to like recovery around this area. I do believe that most towns and fellowship clubs do the same thing as well. But like, man, stay close to your network. If you are going to holiday parties where people are using or drinking and you are in recovery, my suggestion is go with somebody in recovery. Another thing would be, go early and leave early. So show up early and leave early before everybody's hammered or whatever they're doing, right? So, And that's always been a good suggestion. That's what I got 15 sponsees, and I tell all of them the same thing. Like, they got family members they use, right? But they still want to go and spend time with them for the holidays. So I'm always like, hey, if you gotta show up early, then leave early before they're hammered. Always have an escape route, be able to get out of there. I would suggest either being with somebody that drives or they drive themselves. A lot of different things you can do, and kind of like play that tape through before you get in those positions. Those are my suggestions.
That's good. That's good. Thank you, Jonathan.
Jared, you got anything on that? I could spin off of that.
Yeah, go. I'm dealing. I was messaging Rachel trying to see.
No, I'm gonna kind of spin off what Johnny was saying. This will be my I think it's my 10th or 9th or 10th Christmas clean and sober. So
welcome.
On the suggestion of my sponsor, he said that, being that I come from a family of non-addicts, my mom and dad are not addicts. My siblings, I'm 7 siblings. I'm the only addict in my family. Erin's family, all her family's normies too. So I've surrounded myself with family, people that were clean and sober. It's hard to stay clean and sober if you're around people who aren't, especially no matter the length of clean time that you have, So I rely on faith, like-minded, beautiful souls like all these people up here with me this evening. Jared and Johnny, I talk to these brothers consistently all the time behind the scenes. Sister Jamie, Sister Jennifer, amazing, beautiful souls doing amazing work. Like-minded people with like-minded goals. Amen. So and that's that. I stick with the winners today.
Amen. Good stuff.
So I was dealing with the whole people, Ben and Rachel, trying to see if they were good or not. Yeah, so I live on the other side of the country from my family. Every single bit of my family is on the West Coast. I live obviously on the East Coast. Hold on, let me add Ben in. So for me, it's just keeping myself busy. Keeping myself busy, whether that's working, whether that's working on music, whether that's doing this with you guys, whatever it may be, but spending time with the family I got here, which is, my fiance and kids. But yeah, that's just me though. It would be hard for me anyways in my family because a lot of my family, still indulges and whatnot. So, so for me, it's like, I'm one of the, not one of the only sober ones, but if I went to a place with family, I would expect something for them to be doing something. So I'm just kind of like, I do me. I stay over here on this side of the country, and that's what I do. I just do me. So it's been tough.
That's a great way to go.
Yeah, exactly. And trust me, life has been tough. I just lost somebody close to me, and then I'm dealing with personal stuff and whatnot. So definitely, the holidays are kind of swag definitely knows what's up, but we going through it, but we're gonna make it happen.
Amen. And Jared, I can just spin off of that because when I got into recovery, everybody in my family, I'm third generation of addict. And so when we had get-togethers, everybody would just sit around and get high. We were passing meth bowls. And so I had to really almost disconnect from my past family. But what God did for me was create new people that I could be around in those times and I could celebrate with. And I was able to get my children back, and now they're grown, and I actually wear the mama hat. So I'm cooking and I'm celebrating here, and I've made my own environment in my own safe place in my home. And so, sometimes even when we're dealt bad cards, we got to find the dealer and throw them in, and I think healthy coping skills are good too, because, if we're not careful, we'll go back to the old ways of coping and just romancing the things of the past. And the holidays have a bad way about trying to get us in our feelings, whether we're lonely and we're grieving the loss of people that we used to be able to spend time with through those seasons, or depression kind of lurks a little bit. And we have all these memories of these seasons in the past that may or may not have been good or bad. And so I think just learning to cope and replace the things that we used to do to satisfy ourselves with other things in these seasons are good. And again, the community, man, I look at all the faces on this screen and I think, how many of them have been on my journey with me for so long that I just couldn't have done this without. And so I'm grateful for our recovery community too. And in times where I do have weak moments, I can reach out. And I think that that's just the most important thing, is not isolating through the holidays.
That's big wisdom. I just wanted to add that if you don't want to go to a Christmas party that's going to be triggering for you, you do not have to go.
Yep.
Whether it's hanging with your family at home like I am with Jude in his fire truck and Max, who I'm having to pick up every 10 seconds to respawn him like a 90s video game, or people from a fellowship, like group of sober people that's not fellowship aligned, whatever. If someone said they had to stay home to take care of an illness or a psychiatric condition that was not addiction, no one would second guess it. So even if people might judge and not understand, even in your own family, if you need to miss the cookout, the cookie bake, whatever, to stay sober, you go ahead and do that, and don't be ashamed of that, because you're protecting your recovery and vicariously everybody around you by putting that first. Because that was a misconception I had early on, that if I didn't go when it threatened my recovery, I was letting people down. But when that tape played a couple relapses later, I was like, nah, it's okay. I can sit this out, and that doesn't make me a bad person.
Yeah,
I like that, Beth. Thank you.
That's good. And I want to
Always
highlight
spin it that Ben way.
That's right. And I want to highlight too that in times when I did go and visit, we got to understand, man, that people are not going to have any reservation about breaking that dope pipe out and passing it around the room. They don't care about your recovery. And so you do have to protect yourself in situations like that. So, Miss Rachel,
Well,
I think got in here.
You guys, okay, you guys. I logged into 3 tweaker accounts to get into here that I didn't even know existed anymore. So it has been a struggle. It has been real. I don't know where you guys kind of started, but I want to say, like, early in my recovery, like, it was hard for me to go to Christmas events because I was drunk. Like, I was get super, super drunk. And then I got really, really high. And then I'm puking place. It was awful. So it was embarrassing for me because I had to go face people sober and had to, like, relive the embarrassing mess that I was. That's not my story anymore. Like, I sucked it up. I got through it. I had my little drinks that I could drink. And now it's really super boring at my house. Well, it's not boring. It's not boring whatsoever. But I'm not regretting or passed out for 4 days straight. And everybody finding my freaking bubbles in my things because they're looking through my stuff, wondering why Rachel's sleeping for 4 days. Yeah. But it's beautiful. The holidays are beautiful. They're hard. There's chaos. But, like, we learn to get through it. I love y'all. Look at all these great people out here, up in here.
Yeah. I think what's rough. I want to add to when we're talking about the holidays. A majority of the people that follow all of us on social media are newcomers. Okay, and most of the newcomers, if they're like me, I don't know the stories. I don't know what's going on in their life. They haven't gotten that restoration with a lot of their family members back. And that's a hard one, especially it was for me. I'm only speaking from personal experience. When I was in early recovery and I didn't have that bond or that connection or reestablish that relationship with my daughters, my kids were taken from me, and so I had to do some work to get my children implemented back into my life. And that first 2 Christmases that I went through in recovery, I wasn't able to be with them because I hadn't done what the courts wanted me to do in order to reestablish them into my life. So, if any one of these brothers and sisters are struggling like that, I suggest highly that you reach out and talk to some people, because that mistake, I've contemplated numerous times in my early recovery. This sucks, man. I don't want to be here anymore. I won't contemplate and go back to the old Drew because, I hear all the time, in early recovery, you got to put in the work. Well, I was lazy, I didn't want to put it in. I'm an instant gratification kind of addict. I wanted my kids back in my life now. I'm a good guy now, right? I should have my kids back, So don't sit with those feelings. Reach out to one of us on the screen. We're here we know the drill. We know the feelings. I've been through it. I understand it. And so do a lot of these people on the screen this evening. So we're here for you guys if you're struggling with that kind of situation.
Amen. Mom guilt is really the worst. That was, like, my biggest struggle I remember I was working at an IHOP. It was Halloween, and like my mom wouldn't let me. She had custody of my kids, and she hadn't let me see them or talk to them for like 3 months. And I was just like, I remember being in IHOP working, thinking like, what am I doing this for? Like, why am I even doing this if I can't see my kids? You know. So it was so hard for me. And me it took my family, like my mom and my brother, 5 years before they were finally like, okay, we forgive you. 5 years. That was like, I mean, I think I did probably 3 or 4 rounds of amends, and they would just be like, yeah, whatever, yeah, whatever. And then finally, it was during the shutdown. Actually, my mom was like, "You can come move back in." By that time, I already had my own place. I was like, "No, I'm not going to come move back in." But you know, but thank you for forgiving me finally. You know, so sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. Just like keep doing the next right thing, and eventually, things will happen. So,
Amen.
Thanks for bringing that up, Jamie.
Yeah. No, I tell you, my biggest struggle at like this time, like right now, being sober is like my kids. I don't have my kids, like my kids are on the West Coast, so it's just kind of like, I'm here, and like the only thing you want is I want my kids, but I don't have them, so that's the hardest part for me, at least, to say, is that I don't get to spend time with my kids for Christmas, and I don't know the next time I'm probably going to get to see them. I got to see them one time last year when that was over the summer, but yeah, it's my kids are my everything. But this is the second Christmas that I haven't had them. So
Your kids are lucky that you're their dad, and you're sober.
Amen. Say that again.
yes.
Yeah.
And
I think there's a lot of people too. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, dear.
Well, I think that's a big, huge part of recovery, right? It's like we have to live through the damage that we created. And there's a lot of people who don't get to, regardless of like, maybe you just live in another state, or maybe you lost your child to an overdose, or you lost your kids because you're in your addiction to foster care or whatever. I mean, there's so many different variables of why people aren't able to spend time with their families. And that stuff is real. Like, those are hard, really heavy emotions. Like, I used to drink over that stuff. I used to get really, 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 really high over that. And so learn how to talk with other people and be vulnerable and hold that space. Like, thank you for bringing that up, Jared, because holidays are hard. Mom,
I'm a loser.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I think it's important for us to be able to talk about these, because there's so many variables when it comes to being around the holidays and in recovery and whatnot, and it's something that we need. Hi, Myra.
Hi.
Hi.
Love you, sis.
Love you.
Hopefully you feel better.
Hope you feel better.
Oh,
Wait,
I mean,
John, to kiss my cheek.
it's a roller coaster. I get jelly. Don't you dare.
For the ones that are watching, Higgy was supposed to be on with us, but he lost his voice. He's not feeling good, so send some good vibes out to him as well. Hopefully he's watching. But yeah. But anyways,
we love you, Hig.
I just wanted to bring that up because it's very important. Because especially if somebody's newer in recovery, some people got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years under their belt, what like we do here, but there's some that might be struggling with that right now, and they're having 30 days, 60 days, less than a year. So I think it's important to like the tools that they can use around the holiday time to not be able to struggle.
Yes. Absolutely. And knowing that yes, yeah, me and Brianna were actually talking about that earlier too, and like in early recovery, like I remember having so much like shame and guilt. It was like the emotion was like so heavy that I couldn't even like it was like I couldn't handle it. You know what I mean? But like I had to. Like I just had to keep putting like one foot in front of the other. There was like for me, like I used a lot of prayer. And I used the phone a lot, you know, to talk to people, to talk to like my sponsor or like the ladies that were in my recovery home that I was at. And just like sharing about it, you know what I mean? And I know like there's a lot of stigma around like moms who lost their kids and whatever, or parents, you know what I mean? There's like a lot of stigma around that. People don't want to talk about it. Or you know what I mean? And it's like, you know, I always tell people like you are not what you did. Like that is not you. You know what I mean? Like what you did is something completely different than the person that you are. So trying to keep that in front of, you know, like in my I use the language, you know, I'm a new creation. I'm a new person. You know, I'm not that person anymore. And just like reminding myself of those things helped me, even if my family couldn't see it, you know.
Yeah.
I love that, Jamie. And I just wanted to just piggyback a little bit on that and say, you know, Jared, too, whenever I was struggling in the season when I lost my children and wasn't able to be with them through the holidays, God is what gave me comfort. Because there was a moment where I just realized that as much as He cared for me and as much as I cared for them as a mother, that He must care for my children that much more. And He looked out for them when I was out in my mess, in addiction, selling everything I had instead of buying Christmas presents. He kept my family then. And I knew when I was in my recovery journey and in that lapse of time when I didn't get to be around them, that He really was keeping them. And so my faith is what has really carried me through those times.
Yeah.
And
I
hey,
mean,
Myra, Miss
Yeah.
Myra, why don't you talk about how you cope through the holidays, dear?
Yeah, I was actually gonna piggyback. Because I too lost my children and me and Jennifer had talked through some of that process at one point or another, and it was super hard. There was a few times where I had gotten suicidal, you know, and that was in recovery. Like I was clean. Like I lost my kids and shortly later got clean. And then I had 5 years in recovery and relapsed for a short time for like 11 days. So most of the Christmases I missed clean. So it was like a huge struggle. And honestly, it was connection to others and having that unity and that identification with other people who understood the struggle, and I didn't feel as alone, you know. And you know, I would go to meetings, you know, midnight meetings all night long because I didn't get to have Christmases. They were in my court paperwork, you know, my visitation process, and my visitation was also supervised and never became unsupervised, and even had gotten taken away from me while I was in recovery. And like eventually I realized, like, no matter how much that pain was, as long as I didn't pick up, I didn't use. You know, as long as I picked up the phone and called someone else, I wasn't calling my dope dealer. As long as I was taking these actions that were different instead of reacting to my pain, that I wasn't going to sit in that. And today, my daughter's upstairs packing up her room because she just got her own apartment. She moved in with me when she turned 18 years old. You know what I mean? My other daughter moved in with me when she turned 19. And then she moved out and got her own apartment. But not because there was conflict, because they're grown up, because of what I've done last, you know. And that right there, like, that blessing I felt after all that years of struggle. And I'm telling you, if you're struggling with that right now, that right there. And my son's on his way. You know what I mean? Like, I have 3 children. Like, and Christmas time was always hard. So, like, just stay connected, keep calling people, stay vigilant, and don't give up.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for sharing that, sister. I appreciate that vulnerability.
Mm-hmm. That's very similar to my Myra. My son moved in with me when he was 19, and it was the first time I got to be mom. You know, that it was like me, like I was mom, and it was just so beautiful, like to have that. You know, so hopefully with my daughter one day.
And guys, I also want to say I got mine back when they were 8, 10, and 12. Okay. and I'd had no clue what I was doing. So if y'all are in that season, it's okay too. It's okay to be a brand new adult at 30 years old and try to figure everything out because you were in addiction for 10 years, you know? So even though, you know, you feel like you've regressed in life because we have all these wasted years, God restores it, man. He's a God that restores. Just like he restored Myra's family and my family and Miss Rachel's and all these stories here. Jared, I just want to say, brother, your time is coming. And man, on those times when we feel that void, God will fill that spot, man, and he comforts us through it. That's the amazing part about the spiritual aspect of the journey. And I think we all have a spiritual aspect to our journey. And whether it's that you call God, your God, a higher power, or whether it's Jesus Christ, you know, you got to have something to hope in, man.
Yeah, I agree.
Tell us like it is, Mr. Swaggy. Where you at?
Man, I'm just fixing to talk. That's what I said. You guys are talking some good stuff, man. So I want to share with everybody that's listening, man. December 23rd, 2009, man. Today's a big date for me, man. This is when I was released from the penitentiary back in 2009. December 23rd, 2009. But I'll tell you guys what I did, man. I'm getting chill bumps. I'm going to try to explain this to you guys. God bumps now. Chirac bumps. So in 2009, man, I remember going in that cell that morning, you know, putting on that fresh clothes and fresh Nike Shocks, thinking, man, I've made it. And the old school told me, my nickname in prison was called Country Life. Country Life, whatever you do, don't leave God in that cell. That morning, man, I got on my knees. I told God, man, I made it through my 3 years. You know, my boys, when I got out, were 6 and 8. I was thinking, man, I'm going to see my boys. I remember just praying and praying for like 30 minutes straight. I remember getting to the gate. Warden Davis was the warden, walked me to the gate. He chose to walk me to the gate, told me, hey, man, Jody, you've been an amazing convict. You know, so-and-so opened the gate. I had to look at him like, hey, am I really allowed to walk out this gate? I remember walking out the gate. 9 months later, short story, I come walking through my mom's house. My mom says, son, I need to talk to you. I always had shades on because I was back doing my thing with it 2 weeks out in the real world. My mom stopped me in the living room. She says, son, you're out of control. I had all the money, all the dope, all the stuff again. My mom's like, what are you doing? She goes, I just want to ask you one question. I said, what's that, Mom? She said, when's the last time you prayed? Last time I prayed was December 23rd at 5:30 in the morning. I had left Jesus and left God in that jail cell, and my life had become unmanageable like you guys hadn't. I mean, it was crazy. And then from 2010 all the way to 2020, 12 years. I can't tell you how many arrests, 3 DUIs, things. You know, I had to lose my leg. That's part of my story. Losing my leg truly saved my life. And like Johnny was explaining to Myra's daughter tonight, which I like to explain to people too, is I would still have my leg today if I wouldn't have been drinking and drugging as I was going through all those 6 years from 2014 to 2020. You know, like I was explaining to him, I had the I instead of drinking a Diet Dr. Pepper in the hospital, you know, I have my cousins and them bring me Crown Royal in the Dr. Pepper bottle. It was pitiful. And the reason I got away with this for the added ways of thinking, man, it was because I wouldn't take pain medication. So I was doing that. But I can tell you guys, man, December 23rd, 2009 is a huge date for me. Yesterday was my 54 months recovery. The 22nd of each month is my recovery date. So to be able to get here with you guys and sit here and talk about recovery, you know, I see some guys in here that's in the chat, man, that I got to help in their recovery where I worked at Meridian. It's just a blessing today to be able to sit here on this live with you guys. And it's not that I'm sitting here, I am listening to everyone, man, and I just enjoy this moment. I love the holidays. You know, Sober Swaggy Santa sitting right here. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it, you know.
And what he really said was to my bonus daughter was Jaws came up out of the water and took my leg, and I had to take my thumb and stick it in its eye to get it off my leg.
Santa Claus. You know what? It's funny that Joe called you that because now we're gonna start calling it that around Christmas.
Joe. What up, Joe Stan?
Oh, that's funny.
What up, Joe?
Hi, Joe.
Huh.
I'm excited. Listen, I'm excited for next year because we got a lot of great stuff that we're doing next year. We got a lot of great outreaches we're going to be doing. Like, there's so much. I'm super excited to just be able to get out on the road and start doing this. Swag and I, we got a few linked up together that we're going to be doing, and him speaking, me music, and then of course we're working on some other stuff. And I'm super excited. I've met so many all you great people through through the podcast and through our platform and whatnot. And it's just like, man, like, it's crazy. Because like, you guys are family, like Drew, I was telling Drew before, I followed Drew for years before becoming personal friends with him, like I followed him, and then we started talking and I was like, bro. And then Jamie, when I first started the podcast, and I had Bonnie with me, and Bonnie was like, she followed you and she was like obsessed with you. And so when we were like, yo, I got Jamie talking, she's like, oh my gosh. But at the end of the day, though, it's like, we're just human beings, we're regular people just sharing our story of hope and whatnot. And it's really cool to be able to meet every single one of you guys and everyone that we've met through this. And I'm excited for this next year. The outreach events we're doing, just everything. I'm super stoked. I just had to say that.
I want to add something real quick, because I'm blessed enough to look from the outside looking in today. I remember, vividly remembering each and every single one of you outside of Johnny coming into recovery. Okay. It's been an honor watching you all grow into these people that you are today. These beautiful recovery advocates, these God-loving human beings that you all are today. It's been, I'm just grateful to be surrounded by people who are genuinely doing this the right way, because there is a time in my recovery where people were not doing it the right way. And I had surrounded myself with the wrong people. But knowing when you live and learn in this life in recovery, thanks to that man, Johnny Wyrick right there, who helped me, but probably more than anybody outside of Tony Barrett, when I was going through some shit. Everybody knows the shit Drew went through. We're not going to go into that. But, when I went through all that shit, Johnny stood by me. He was there, in my messenger. He was in my real life coming to see me. He was standing right beside me, and to have a brother like that when you're going through something is and let me tell you, that was terrible. It was not fun. But he stood by me. He believed in me. He believed that I could change. He believed that I could become the version that you all see here today. And I'm just grateful to be surrounded by such amazing individuals today.
Hey, so Drew, we do not shoot our wounded around here.
Yeah. That's the story.
As simple as that. We do not shoot our wounded, man. We need to pull people up, man. And like that's so like the recovery today I celebrate 9 years, 2 months, and 12 days clean. And like truly grateful to this program of Narcotics Anonymous, truly grateful to Jesus Christ, my higher power, truly grateful to the Armed Nation, because like, dude, everyone I associate with, man, we hit each other between the eyes, man. We don't sugarcoat anything. We call each other on everything. We make sure we hold each other accountable. Accountability is huge where I'm from, man. And like, that's what we do, man, because here's the deal, man. We come up with excuses and we don't hold each other accountable. People start dying. And it's as simple as that. And like, so we need to hold each other accountable, and we need to be honest with each other, man. I don't know, like, I got 15 sponsees, man, and any one of them can tell you, man, I'm hard on them. I really am, dude. And I mean, like, because I want to see them succeed. I want to see them live. I want to see them thrive in recovery. I don't want to see them like end up, slacking off and off into the wayside. And the next thing you know, they're relapsing, and then they don't come back because either they're in prison or they're dead. And like, and that's the reality of the disease today. It's like we have to find excuses to chase our recovery and stop finding excuses not to participate in recovery. And that's a big one for me, because like I have to continue to do that. Man, I mean, I do all this stuff. I do a ton of outreach. I got 15 sponsees. I go to meetings, man. I go to conventions. I speak all over the country and everything. And people are like, holy cow, your schedule is so jam-packed with all this stuff. How do you do it? Why do you do it? And there's only one reason. It's to stay clean another day. This helps me stay clean. And that's it.
I know that's right.
I'm trying to keep up with the comments, everybody, just so you know, there's so many comments that are coming in.
I think it's really cool too. My internet's in and out.
Yeah.
But like Johnny, I freaking love you guys. I've known you my whole recovery. Like this is my 8th sober Christmas. Drew, you too. Like it's insane. And I've known Jen my whole recovery. Like we just started trying to figure out the internet all at the same time. And now we get to like be a part of the Jareds and the Bens and the Jamies and all the people that have come out and like stick through it and go through. Like we've seen y'all each other go through life.
Yep.
And we're still sober. You know what I mean? Because of those hard conversations and because of people sticking together and not turning their backs on you. So I just appreciate all of you. You know, it's so cool to see Ben over here like 2 years ago, just with a pregnant wife. And now you got little babies all over the place just coming up.
I can tell you what causes that shit.
I've had to change. My phone was on low when I came on here, and then it's like been sub 5%, died twice because I've been like chasing Jude and Max around the park. And the one thing I'll say before either he wriggles out and gets sick of this milk I'm trying to feed him and starts crying again is a wise person told me when I was scared to use the phone in early recovery, if y'all know what I mean.
Yeah.
I was 6 months sober. I made the stupid mistake of not only like, you know, not working my program good as I should have been, but making another person who I was in love with, a girl I'm in early recovery, my higher power, and acted selfish with that. And he realized I wasn't calling him when we were working together. And he said, you know, the great thing about the phone is, right, in the beginning, you start drinking or using. It's only in a little in the beginning, but it has a lot of power. But then towards the end, you're using a lot, but your tolerance goes up, so it loses its power. But let me tell you something about the phone. You don't use it a lot in the beginning, so it doesn't have a lot of power. But the more you use it, unlike the dope in the bottle, the more power it gains.
Yep.
The phone is only going to be powerful if you use it. Don't blame you make one call, it doesn't get you where you want to be. You didn't get here using one bag, drinking one shot.
Yep.
So we reframed it as that it was a privilege to use the phone and that the phone would give me more than calling the plug on the phone ever did. It was right around the holiday season in 2016, my first sober Christmas, that I really started doing that. And today people can tell you I'm not the best with the phone, but I'm not afraid of it. And I know that regardless of whether someone picks up or not, just the act of calling is going to make me feel better and make me know that I've taken action, which in the holidays, if you're going through something like y'all were talking about, being separated from kids, being separated from family not accepting, that doesn't mean there aren't people out there. And if you pick up your phone, send a message, text, call, whatever, that action in itself will be something you can be proud of and you can use as fuel to keep chasing recovery instead of dope.
That's right, Ben. Thank you.
You know what I love about Ben, and we've said it before about Ben, is that talking about the phone is, dude, you can look at anything, a piece of dog shit, and you can figure out a way to give us a life lesson on a reel, you know? Like, and it's crazy because I always enjoy watching those.
I did do one about Winston's digestion one time, so that's literally true.
Well, that is funny. No, but I love it though, because it's like, just, man, you can say anything about anything and then turn it into like this life lesson, and I think it's amazing.
Thank you, man. I mean, I am just grateful to be part of. I'm gonna say something. I say this on some of my lives, and people say, "Oh, that's crazy." The fact that you can go on your phone today and see a bunch of people from different walks of life, men, women, all across the country, all across the world, with different stories for free. If you have never stepped foot in a fellowship, never been to treatment, don't have any sober friends.
Right.
We are living in the golden age of interconnected, separate from fellowship, separate from treatment centers, recovery in every sense. And I don't get fellowship specific in my content because I caught too much flack for it early on when the platform began to grow. But if you can tell my speech, you know what time it is. But before I found that fellowship in my path that way, when I didn't know anybody sober, I can't tell you how many times I clutched my phone at Christmas where I felt disconnected from my family, wishing something would come across my screen. But the algorithm wasn't set up like that. There were sober creators, but unless you followed them or you knew sober people who put you on, you didn't see it. So just seeing all these people on the screen who are dedicated to transmuting the pain to purpose journey or recovery onto a way that's not only cool to see and truthful, but easily accessible and distributed through an algorithm. If you told me this the first year I got sober, that I'd be talking with y'all and that this recovery community was a thing, I would not have believed you. Not at all. And it is just a blessing to be here with y'all, man. I can't say that enough, because every single person on here is doing God's work, regardless of the numbers are reached, regardless of because the algorithm's fickle like that. But just the act of putting something out for people to find is the same thing we do in person, and y'all are doing God's work, man. I just had to say that. I'm blessed beyond belief to be on here with y'all.
And so, Crystal asked a question. She'd asked a couple times, so I want to make sure we get to it really quick. She said, "So I'm 9 years clean, and I have grown children who are either active or are toxic. How do you deal with setting healthy boundaries but still being a part of their lives?" I don't know who wants to take the reign on that one.
I'll take the reign on that. So, like, I have a son right now who is he's 23 years old. He's at my house right now. He's actually sitting in my living room, but like, he's an addict like his dad. And he lived with me for a while. So like, I had to show some tough love. I actually had to kick him out of the house. I mean, I still checked on him, stuff like that, but he's got to learn, right? Pain is a great motivator. Pain will motivate somebody to get their life together. Simple as that. And that's a simple truth. It was hard. Trust me. I love him to death, but I had to kick him out. And it was last winter. He got kicked out last winter. He was homeless for like 3 weeks. I would call and check on him, all kinds of stuff like that. But like, check this out. This is a house of recovery right here. This is a house of recovery right here. I will not allow no mood or mind altering substances in this house, and I will not tolerate it. And he thought he would be slick. I mean, man, I've done it all in the past, man. So like I didn't catch on to that. Like, he tried to pull a fast one a couple times, and it didn't work out too well because he got booted out. And then he's all like blaming it on me, and I'm like, bro, you knew the rules. You knew the rules. Like, I told you from the gate. And what I ended up doing was surprising him with a drug test. I knew he was using, but I surprised him with a drug test. He popped dirty, and I booted him out. And he had to find his way. So now, I mean, he's doing better. I think he's doing better. You know, he's here for the holidays, but then he's got to go. Like, that's it. And I'm not trying to be cold or harsh or anything like that, but like, I got my boundaries today, man. I can say no today. I don't have to worry about all that people pleasing BS. Like, straight up, like, I love him to death, but man, he's had his chances here, and now, I mean, he knows what's up. So he was in the fellowship for a little while. And then he did have some clean time for a little while, but now he's 23 years old, bro. I mean, like, dude, when I was 23, you couldn't tell me nothing. I don't care.
Nothing.
I was wide open. Nobody could tell me anything. Like, I was, and I know he ain't watching this, but like, I was 8 times worse than where he's at right now. And like, but I'm just saying though, like, pain is a great motivator. Losing everything is a great motivator. You got to take it all away to get them to motivate them to better their life, do what they need to do, get into treatment, do whatever they got to do. And that's my piece.
Amen.
Mic drop.
Anybody else have something to add?
Well, I mean, I feel I went through some similar things, and just like Jonathan said, you know, there was a time where I had to show some tough love with my oldest son, and sometimes it's hard when they've seen you be thugs, you know. So there was a lot of me having to prove myself as a sober mother to him, and a lot of him pushing my boundaries and challenging me, and was I actually going to be that person? And so, you know, it was hard because I knew I had showed my son a bad example early on, and I had to set that good example. And so I think just walking it out as a parent and showing them what that looks like and being firm in your boundaries. And yeah, I called the police on my kid when I had to. And yeah, you know, he got put on probation, and yeah, he went through a mental health stint there where he had to go in-house, and I had to make some hard decisions. And there was a time where he was upset, but now today he's acting like a responsible young man, and he's got his little family, and he takes care of his own. And so I know now those decisions were the right ones, but when you're walking through it, man, it can be painful. And the enemy loves to remind you of all the ways you failed early on and all the bad things that you showed your kids, to try to taunt you in that and tell you how it's your fault that they're that way. But it says in the word, if we raise our kids up in the ways that they should go when they're older, they won't depart from it. And we all got the choice to change and make a better impression.
I think it's very important for tough love. I've seen, you know, some people in the comments too. They're like, tough love saved my life. And honestly, I really do believe that tough love can really make or break somebody. You know, it may not work for everybody, but, you know, I'm just speaking from what I've experienced myself, and what I've seen is like, for somebody to like sit there and like love you enough to kick you in the ass, you know, to say that you either, I'm not going to support your habit, I'm not going to enable you, I'm going to love you and I'll help you, but I'm not going to do X, Y, and Z like Johnny did and whatnot. I think it's very important, because that goes to show, like, we may hate that person in the big, like, we may, like, us as an addict be like, man, like, why are you doing this? You hate me, blah, blah, blah. But I realized that after getting sober, I look back and I'm like, yo, like, that was probably the best thing that they could have ever did for me, you know, was just give me that tough love and just say, no, like, enough is enough. I tell you, my dealer gave me tough love. He came to me and listen, bro, like, you're done, dude. Like, you're so bad, I cannot get it anymore. And weird as it sounds, though, that like that was the only guy I went to after a while, because I burned my bridge with everybody else. But it was like that's what kind of kicked me in the butt to like get my crap together and whatnot. And I'm like, man, if my dealer's telling me that I'm like, I'm bad, love, I look at it now and I'm just like, wow, like tough love is what some people actually need. We need that, and that's my personal opinion. Again, it may not work for everybody. Just like I seen, you know, how Rachel had said, you know, tough love destroyed me for a while, but enabling would have killed me. Exactly. That's exactly what it's. I think that's what it all comes down to at the end of the day.
You know, I want to
14, you know, so it's like, I'm hoping that I don't ever have to give that tough love, you know, and I'm praying to God that he never walks down the same road I did. But if he does, or any of my kids, best believe, like, I'm not going to put up with it, you know?
You know, I want to, being that, I think she said she was 9 years clean and sober. Is that what she said in the beginning of this?
Yeah.
What we as recovering alcoholics and drug addicts as parents have over a lot of other parents who've never struggled, we have a huge advantage over those kinds of parents, because we've been there. We know the drill, right? We know that, you know, baby in the attic, we're gonna bury the attic. We know, you know, that there's, and we have to be conscious of this empathy that we have for the still sick and suffering. Okay, because that can trip you up too, especially when it's so intimately attached to you and being your child. Okay, so you have to, and I'm a firm believer the devil uses all kinds of things to trick us up, and he will use that empathy that you have towards your child to trip you up, and, you know, keep enabling the child that you shouldn't be enabling, you know. So you have to remember that you do have tools. You know, you have an advantage over most parents, the parents who've never struggled. We've been there. We know the drill. We know the downward spot. We know everything that comes with an active addiction. So there's going to have to be the boundaries. Absolutely. I think she mentioned in that comment that she set boundaries in her life. Well, those are absolutely you have to, you know, but your child in active addiction will manipulate that. You know, I'm just going to tell you, they're going to manipulate, because we did the same shit to people too. Okay. So again, you know the drill. Here we go again. So just be conscious of what they're doing, you know, and keep those boundaries up. 9 years clean, that's a good go, you know. So I'm proud of you, sister, for your clean time and your sobriety. We love you, and a lot of us can kind of empathize with your situation.
Absolutely.
I want to share something too, like on the tough love thing. Like, my dad is 35 years, I think, this year in recovery, and he's hardcore NA. Like, we're talking tough love.
I love him.
Like, he's the best, but it was like, pictures using, kick her out, she's got to be homeless. And I was mad. Like, why did I have to suffer? But I was mad.
She's frozen.
Rachel, you're weeping.
Anyway,
Gotta get better weeping.
Like, I don't even know if I was really mad at the time.
Frozen.
I was mad that I wasn't able to manipulate. I cut out again. Oh.
It's okay.
He said that Dollar Tree Wi-Fi.
That Dollar Tree Wi-Fi. What's up, Ben?
I just want to say I love y'all. My son is chewing computer cords and screaming. And that, but
love you, Ben.
Love you, Ben.
Love you, brother.
Merry Christmas, brother.
Love you.
Love you, man.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, y'all. God bless.
God bless.
Look at Rachel's face.
She's frozen solid.
That's what happens, people. Let this be a lesson. Don't buy Dollar Tree Wi-Fi.
Yeah, yeah. That's the lesson.
I don't know if it's StreamYard. I don't know if it's Facebook. I don't know what it is, man.
Corners.
If I can just add, if you do have like a child who is, in addiction, who whatever, like I always say like speak life over them, like instead of like, being mad and be like, oh, they're a drug addict, you know what I mean? Like speak life over them. I had an issue with my son and he was doing like some self-harm. He was like cutting himself like bad when he was younger. And like, I would just like pray and like speak life over him, and I think that's really important because our words carry weight.
Yep.
So, like you can give like tough love and boundaries, but still like continue to pray for them and speak life over them. And there's like plenty of scripture, on that. That's like my go-to, like, I would always say about my son, like, he will live and not die. He's going to prosper. He's going to get married. He's going to have life, like, and that was really key, I think.
That's good.
I like that.
I like that. That's great shit.
There
That's great.
she is, Rachel. Hi.
What up, Rachel? What up,
Maybe.
Dollar Tree Wi-Fi?
I'm telling you. It's because everybody's playing on their games. My mom's on her World of Warcraft downstairs. My nephew's playing some Call of Duty. Like they're getting crunk up in here.
I piggybacking off of you, Jamie, when you're and I'm gonna kind of go off topic but stay on topic with words and the tongue and whatnot. So I don't know, like I heard that, so like I wanted to like talk about that section. Recently I have found myself in certain situations where and Swag knows a bunch of it too, is that why I have to learn not to talk out of anger because I don't want to say something that I can't take back. It's like it's like that whole thing where where the damn wolf is jumping off the cliff to try to eat the bird, not because he's and it's like I don't want to do that because I've been in some situations recently where I want to just respond, like fire shots out of anger, but then I realize words hurt. Words you can't take back. And and Swag and I have been in some similar situations with that. And that's like it's so hard. It is really hard because like I'm a human being, bro. Like there's times where people piss me off. I want to just freaking hit you as deep as possible with everything, but I recently I've had to deal with that a lot more, and I think I'm doing good so far, but 100%.
So Jared, like really quick, so like I've got to watch out for that. In my experience, anger is a drug. So like I got to really control that because it will get out of hand, just like my drug used to get out of hand. So like basically, just because the drugs and alcohol are no longer a thing doesn't mean that anger doesn't come out in my life, right? So like I got to be able to like try to manage that. And trust me, I'm not perfect by any means, and I'll slip up here and there. But like at the same time, the good thing is like if you start seeing it before it happens, you can catch it before it happens and start to work on it more and more, right? So like 18 months clean, I lost the desire to use completely. I haven't had the desire to use since, and I just celebrated 9 years in October. But like still, Anger comes out as a drug. Working comes out as a drug. Shopping comes out as a drug. I don't gamble because I know that will come out as a drug. Like, just because the drugs and alcohol are gone doesn't mean all this other stuff. I use it to like, you know, to make me feel better, right? And I can't do that. That's it's that basically it's very unmanageable in my life, and I got to really watch that. So I can totally relate, Jared.
Yeah, it's definitely tough. It's tough because then it's like, you know, we've been clean and sober this long, and certain people, you know, and certain people or certain circumstances or certain anything want to pull the damn old you out so bad, you know, and it's like it's like a constant battle. It's like, gotta remember, you know, like, we're human beings, you know, we're not perfect, but we also have to learn that fine line of, you know, shutting our mouths when we need to shut our mouths and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes.
That's a good one. And I just want to take that back to what the word says about there being power of life and death in our tongue. And I think that as people that believe in what the word says, that we've got to take heed to that, because the things that we speak out of our mouth, even in anger, they take root and we plant seeds, man. And what a man sows, he reaps. And so if we're sowing seeds of death and destruction with our words, then we're going to reap those things. So sometimes I just have to pray, Lord, put a bridle over my tongue. Don't let anything come out of my mouth. And I'll get on the phone with Jamie or Rachel and have my little moments, and then, you know, be done with it, because I know at the end of the day, if I act out of character in a moment of anger, just like you said, Jared, those words go out and you can't reel them back in. You can't undo them. Yeah. And man, Jonathan, I love how you touched on how anger is a drug, because it really is. The endorphins that you get from those times in rage, we don't realize that, you know, we can actually be pacifying something in ourselves by allowing ourselves to get that elevated even. And I learned early in my recovery that I actually had a choice about my attitude. And that was something that surprised me so much when I discovered that I could wake up and decide if I was going to have a good day. And there was nothing that could really affect that. Like, I let stuff into my spirit. If I choose that I'm going to have a good day, then I'm having a good day, right? And so what a man thinks, so he is. And I think the same thing goes for the things that we speak. And so I appreciate y'all guys touching on that topic.
Yeah, I always got to remember Proverbs 18:21. You know, I'm always telling myself that, you know, the power of death and life is in the tongue, you know, and it's like we have the ability to shape our futures with how we speak and what we say and whatnot. And so, but we're human at the same time as well.
With drugs and alcohol, man, like for me, you know, because I'm a hothead, so I had something to blame my anger on. You know, now I'm 54 months sober. What do you blame your anger on? My sponsor said, you're not working your program, and it just aggravates the hell out of me. So the thing about it, you know, when you're sober and you have an anger management, or a text message where you tell someone, you know, when you should put the phone down, what do you blame it on? You know, back in the day, I had an excuse. Oh, it was the drugs and alcohol. You know, today I don't have an excuse. You know, I'm still learning, you know, big time learning. And that's the thing for me, that I have to bite my tongue. I have to understand. I have to learn to breathe. I'm good at coaching people at this, but man, I'm here the last couple of months. It's been really tough to coach and tell people what to do, and to do it myself. It's been rough. You know, I catch myself just like losing control. You know, I'm being honest. You know, like I said, I got a lot of work to do, and I surround myself, you know, talking with Johnny and Jared and calling people and trying to understand, you know, but you know what's the crazy thing about it? It's already too late. I've already said what I was going to say, and I've already texted and told you to go F off. You know, it's like, man, I have to throw the phone down, you know, and then it's like, you got others out there that the devil comes in all shapes and sizes. So when he comes, you know, he's testing you. And that's the thing, man. When you're having a great day and life is going good, that's a blessing. But guess what? Be ready for the lesson. So when you're having a lesson, you know, you got to keep, and that's where you have hope. You know, because as you're going through the lesson, you know that a blessing's coming. So it's vice versa. You know, you got to find a happy medium in life, you know, to be ready for that, be prepared for this, and keep going, you know, and try to equal it out. Because me, I go 0 to 100 real quick, you know, and it's like, boom. And I got to remember, hey, man, do the step work, call a sponsor, call my friends, call whoever I need to, and stay more level-headed, and then as soon as someone makes me mad, I did it today. Somebody pulled up beside me and Myra was telling me to get that out of the road, this and that. And I just kind of took a deep breath, and I was going to roll down the window and tell him, "Hey, man, Merry Christmas," but he done peeled his tires out, and took off.
It's Chicago.
Chicago, And I was thinking, she was like, "What was you going to say?" And I was like, "I was just going to tell him Merry Christmas, man. I'm not from here, so I look like a tourist, So I'm blocking 3 lanes of traffic. She told me to go left at the last minute, so I just pull over left.
Just be nice because everyone's strapped around here.
Yo,
So,
It's funny. It's like you never know. I used to be a really bad road rager where like you cut me off, like I'm gonna pull up next to you and be like, "What's up?" And then I realized, man, there's too many people that got guns.
oh, dude, there's highway shootings here every single day. So, hey, the boss just came down here, Myra. She's cooked us dinner. So I think we're going to jump off and go eat some dinner. It was great doing this. We got to do this more often. I love each and every one of you guys. This is what's up. And Merry Christmas to everybody out there and Happy New Year. Man, blessings to all of your families and friends and kids and everybody. And like, if you need anything, Johnny Wyrick, like my number's on my page. Call me. I mean, like, dude, that's why I keep it front and center on my page. Hit me up. If you want to talk, that's fine. Like, I can link you up with anybody in your area. I got friends all over the world. So
love you guys.
We love you guys.
Merry
Love
Christmas.
you guys.
Merry Christmas.
Getting on, guys. Love y'all.
Bye, guys.
Before we wrap up on our end, does anybody have anything like a shout out there that they have something coming up that they want to shout out or anything you guys want to say before we close up?
I do. I have one thing, and not to hype us all up or anything, but I feel like I feel like the Lord is doing something really amazing and bringing us all together. And we are working on planning an event for June the 28th with everybody that was on this call, just about all of us. We're going to be putting together the speaking lineup, and we will start getting the flyer out for that. And so I'm excited about it. It is Stronger Together. And so I just wanted to make a little brief commercial about that while we're all here. And guys, I look forward to working with y'all and planning this together. And also, me and Miss Jamie Tall and Miss Rachel are doing a Disciple the Streets revival. And so that'll be January the 25th in Athens, Georgia as well. So yeah, thanks for letting me do my little telemarshal, guys.
Welcome to the crew, Jen.
What's up?
I want to, throw in something. First of all, I appreciate everybody who participated, all you beautiful people on the screen, and then everybody who was watching. I think I can speak for everybody up here that we love you very much, and we're here for you during the holiday seasons. Our phones stay on 24/7. My number's at the top of all my platforms too, and I'll probably be coming to a city somewhere in your state this upcoming year. God has definitely blessed my platforms, blessed me and my wife's lives, and I will be in 39 states next year alone, and I will be in 70 different schools. So I might be talking to your kids too. So I just wanted to say thank you all for being here. Jared, Jamie, Rachel, Jennifer, I love you all very much. Johnny, I love you, brother. We go back since I came into recovery. I'll be blessed to celebrate 9 years clean and sober this coming February. So God is good, and I promise you, everybody on this screen, if this life in recovery wasn't better, we wouldn't fucking stay here. Okay, this is the life to be. This is where you need to be. And so I appreciate you all. Thank you for all being here. And have a great and happy holidays. I say Merry Christmas because I'm a Christian. So Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
I got a plug on my end. I got a new song dropping Friday, everybody. New song dropping right here. Look.
Can't wait.
So I always got to do that. New song dropping Friday, all platforms. Super excited. So that's just
we're doing a video together too.
We are. So we're gonna get together. We're gonna do a video. So I think I might do an extended video when we do this event down in Georgia. We might get all the creators in it and do this big, do this video type thing. But Drew and I are definitely gonna get together and do some stuff. So But yeah, new song. You can go stream it on all the platforms. And we love every single one of you guys. And every one of you guys that's on the screen. I love you guys. I'm grateful to do life with you guys. And to the ones that couldn't make it on, Higgy and Myra and Brianna, whatnot, we love you guys.
We love them all.
Yes, love you guys.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right, Jamie, you got anything?
Man, I don't think so. Just everybody stay safe for the holidays. Make sure you're keeping up with us for our big event that we're doing June 28th. Yeah, right?
Yes.
June 28th. So we're really excited about it. It's going to be epic. I think it's probably going to literally spark like a whole world revival starting in Athens, Georgia.
Yeah, I'm excited about June 28th too. So all my followers out there, I'm coming to Georgia in June. So come on out. Let's go.
Yes. Rachel, you good? You got anything?
Yeah, I just want to say Merry Christmas. My heart hurts because I'm about to have to retire all my Christmas sweaters, but it's going to be okay. It is going to be okay. I'm excited for our revival coming up in June or January. We do one every quarter. We go to we do all the big cities. We're going to Chicago next, and we got this big event. And so we're just always out there hitting the streets, just trying to bring people to God and where we can, and just being open-minded to what people need. And I just am grateful, like a grateful recovering addict. It didn't used to be like this. And so another year I get to spoil my kids, and I'm not having to go to the Salvation Army and hope I can get a bag with some gifts my kids like. And that it took years to get there. And so anybody who's out there struggling and Christmas isn't what you want it to be, like, don't give up. It can get there. Just continue to do the next right thing. Remember what the spirit of Christmas is, and remember, why we get to celebrate that. And I just love y'all, and Merry Christmas. June 28th is going to be off the hook. Yeah.
Let us know when you guys come to New York to do a revival or something.
Yes. We would love to. Let's talk about it, Jared. We would love to plan one.
I've been trying. We got to plan something out here. So,
and also, I want to plug this real quick before I get out here. I am planning my first annual Clean and Sober That's What's Up recovery event coming up in this 2025, September 2025. So, it's going to be a banger. I'm probably going to utilize a lot of these beautiful people on the screen services. September 2025. Look for the first annual Clean and Sober That's What's Up recovery rally. It's going to be.
Yeah. We would love to be a part of it. Absolutely love that. And I just want to, I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but I just wanted to plug in, Drew. We offer, me, Jamie, and Rachel, we're all recovery advocates, which I know every one of us are, but we actually do like a vendor booth where we have all of our resources available to do placement coordination. And so the goal is, like at those events, if we see anybody that needs treatment that is on the streets or in the community that is in immediate need, to place them. So we did set up a booth at one of our past events and was able to be pretty effective. So we would love to just offer resources while we're there. If we could talk about what that looks like. And I'm excited, Drew, that you're having your first annual. What is your event going to be geared toward? Is it like a speaking event, or are you going to have a lot of vendors?
I want, absolutely, vendors are a must. Any successful rally has to have vendors, period. Yeah, definitely. Okay. I've spoken probably 500 of them since I've been in recovery. So vendors, absolutely. Speakers, music, gotta have that music, gotta get the vibe, get the energy flowing, get the blood flowing. So, and then I'm gonna bring in local sheriffs, and public officials for my community. We gotta implement the community. This is about and for the community. So I want to involve the community leaders as well.
Awesome. I'm excited. We'll talk more about that and how us ladies can be involved in helping.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Love y'all. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. We love you.
Baby.